Since Tesla introduced the Model X, it has remained unchallenged in its segment. But now a new worthy challenger has arrived in the form of the just revealed BMW iX. In this video, I'll perform a side-by-side comparison of the exterior, interior, tech, performance and pricing of these two EVs, and we'll find out if Tesla's unchallenged reign is over. The Model X has been in production since 2015, and it really hasn't had a competitor to challenge it in the all-electric, mid-size luxury crossover segment. The Audi e-tron came out in 2018, but that's not really comparable in terms of specs or price to the upcoming 2022 Model X. However, the newly revealed BMW iX is certainly very comparable. Let's start with the exterior. The dimensions of these two are remarkably close, with the main differences being that the Model X is about 3 inches longer, and that the iX has more ground clearance. But beyond these similarities though, the exteriors come from different design approaches. BMW describes the exterior design as monolithic, and it certainly appears that way. The surfaces are planar and block-like, devoid of much articulation or creasing. The front almost has a vertical sheared-off appearance and features the iconic double kidney grilles and slim LED headlights, giving it a mean appearance. Since electric cars don't need grilles, they're closed off with a pattern panel that hides the sensors. It also has a self-healing surface that can repair itself from minor damage. Blue accents let you know that this is an electric car. A flying roof pulls your eye towards the rear, which, similar to the front, has an almost vertical appearance and integrates slim LED taillights. BMW says the footprint is the same size as the X5, its combustion engine cousin, but because of the iX's lack of detailing, it loses some of the aesthetic appeal that the X5 has. Despite the blocky design though, BMW has managed to achieve an impressive drag coefficient of 0.25. Tesla beats that just barely with a drag coefficient of 0.24 for the Model X, but takes a completely different design approach to get there. The Model X has a bubble-shaped appearance with a curve that runs almost continuously from front to back. The rest of the car is shaped by aerodynamics and features details like flush door handles, front air guides, and a rear spoiler. By far though, the coolest detail of this car is its falcon doors. If I had anything to complain about the Model X, it would be that at 7 years old, the look is aging and it is in need of a redesign, but none seems to be on the horizon. The two SUVs are very close in exterior dimensions, but how do they do with interior dimensions? Well, we don't quite know because BMW hasn't provided interior dimensions yet. What we do know though is that the iX seats 5, while the Model X can also be had in 6 and 7-seater configurations. That third row is an important feature in this segment, and it's disappointing the BMW doesn't have one. Also disappointing is the iX's cargo capacity, which is about 2/3 of the Model X's. But other than those two items, the iX's cabin doesn't disappoint at all. It is trimmed out with all the luxury features you'd expect in a flagship model. The item that stands out first is the freestanding, curved glass display that integrates a 12.3-inch information display along with a 14.9-inch control display running BMW's newest iDrive 8 technology. Another item is the hexagonal steering, which BMW says makes it easier to see the instrument display. Seats come with integrated headrests, and an option even includes speakers built into the headrests. For seat coverings, choices include a varied color range of non-leather options, natural leather, and a microfiber wool blend option. Trim options include metal finishes and sustainable FSC certified wood. Other neat upgrades include a crystal cut controller and seat control buttons. Just like Tesla, there's a panoramic sunroof, but unlike Tesla, at the touch of a button, you can make that opaque. In contrast to this rich luxury of the iX, the Tesla's interior is super minimalist. They have moved on from the portrait-oriented tablet, and starting with the 2022 models, they will be incorporating a 17-inch freestanding center display. But that's not the only display. there is a 12.3-inch instrument cluster and an 8-inch display for the second row that can be used with a gaming controller. The seats are clad in vegan leather and come in only 3 colors: black, white, or cream. Photos from Tesla also show a yoke steering without a gear selector or turn signal stalks, but it's not clear if that will make it into production. So that brings us to tech. Both the iX and Model X are expensive vehicles and get technology features like collision mitigation standard. For advanced features, BMW has a driving assistant professional, which will keep the car in lane along with maintaining speed and distance, much like Tesla's autopilot. But a key difference is that autopilot is included standard in Tesla's, while it is an optional technology in the iX. What is optional in the Tesla is the full self-driving capability, which includes features like lane changes, navigating on autopilot, and in the future, a self-driving capability, but one that requires you to keep your hands on the wheel. Other technologies unique to Tesla are the ability to watch streaming services like Netflix, play games, and browse the internet. The Model X will also feature automatic doors that open when you get close with your phone and close when you press the brake pedal. BMW too has its own set of unique tech features. There's a head-up display like in many high-end cars. Unlike other manufacturers that have started to add augmented reality to the head-up display, BMW has chosen to provide augmented reality information in a video stream on the infotainment panel. There's an exit warning feature along with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto compatibility. The iX can also be had with a 360-degree view camera, a heat pump to extend the range in cold weather, and rear-wheel steering. So that brings us to performance. The iX comes in 2 battery sizes, one each for the xDrive 40 and the xDrive 50, although it looks like we won't get the xDrive 40 in North America. A future variant, the iX M60, is also planned, but we don't have details on that. All the iXs will be all-wheel drive. Tesla doesn't divulge battery sizes for its 2 trims, but here is what EV Database estimates. The long range is dual-motor all-wheel drive, while the Plaid is tri-motor all-wheel drive. The xDrive 50 lines up nicely with the Model X long range, and presumably in the future the M60 with the Plaid. Now, BMW invested a lot of effort into making the iX lightweight by using an aluminum space rim construction along with carbon fiber reinforced plastics like we saw in the i3. And that paid off because it's almost the same weight as the Model X. Impressive because Tesla is known to be very weight conscious. But despite similar drag coefficient and weight, the range of the iX is less than that of the Tesla. Now do keep in mind that both these are manufacturer estimates. Neither have been validated with EPA testing. We don't have EPA estimates for the xDrive 40, so I'll share the WLTP numbers along with my estimate of what an EPA range might be. For horsepower, the Tesla offers more, and so the acceleration times are faster. The Model X can tow a substantial 5,000 pounds, but we don't have numbers for the iX yet. For charging, the xDrive 50 has a peak charging power of 200 kilowatt, close to Tesla's Supercharger peak power of 250 kilowatt. When it comes to ride comfort, a 4-corner air suspension is standard in the Model X, but is optional in the BMW. So, how do these two compare in price? Well, the base pricing for the one pair that is comparable is fairly close, but when you factor in the federal tax credit, it gives BMW the advantage. As we won't get the xDrive 40 in the US, I'll add in the German prices for reference. The BMW and Tesla are again quite close, but the BMW is slightly costlier. Now keep in mind that these are only starting prices. When you do an apples-to-apples comparison, I suspect the BMW will become expensive quite quickly. But nevertheless, what emerges from this comparison is that the BMW iX is a worthy challenger to the Model X and could certainly make a dent in the Model X's unchallenged reign. Which one would you buy? The space-age Tesla Model X or the luxury BMW iX? Let me know in the comments below. And if you would like me to compare the iX to another competitor, let me know the name of that vehicle too. Please give the video a like, share your comments below, and subscribe to the Driver Download.